Hello, hello, hello. You guys know what
Hello.
it is. It is Talk to Tamika Tuesdays. And today I actually have the pleasure of having us a specialist. You guys know I love niches, and you guys know I'm only going to go get the best. And the person who is just keeps showing up over and over and over is I just saw this past week about what FHA was doing with ADUs. And so ADUs are flying by. And then I saw Dr. Sharon here come by with all of what she was doing with ADUs. And I said, you know what? Because I have Compass going on with the investment groups and all the other things going on, I have to get her on the show so that she can spread this information across our international viewers who are out there. So I'm not going to take up any more time. I'm going to let Dr. Sharon Barnes tell you more about who she is, why she chose this niche with ADU, what an ADU is, all of these kind of things, and then in fact, I'll just be quiet. So,
That could be
Dr. Barnes, thank
dangerous.
you so much. Thank you so much for,
Oh, thank you
agreeing to
for
come
having me,
on.
Dr. Bride. I appreciate it. I'm
Yes.
glad I was popping up in your feed that the word is getting out there. And so this is a real honor. It's a privilege for me to be here. So a little bit about myself. I'm in my second career. I practiced law for 25 years, and it was my clients. I was working with mortgage brokers, investors, contractors, putting together commercial deals and projects in different states across the country. And sometimes, they needed more legal help than they could afford at the time, laying the foundation. And so really it's against the law, at least in California, to really share commissions without a license. So
Mhm.
they were pushing me to do it for that reason. I could get a piece of the pie a little bit better. And then also that it was a value added service, so I could help them find locations. I can help them more on acquiring land to build their projects and that type of thing. So it was my clients that pushed me over into real estate, and then there was circumstances of life that made it a full-time job and put law in the background. So
Got it. Got
I'm
it.
here. I have been practicing and doing real estate now for over 15 years. And so I had to sit back, a few weeks ago because someone asked me that, why are you so passionate about these ADU? and I had to ask, kind of look at it myself. And what came to mind was that right in the ADU, accessory dwelling unit niche in real estate, is bringing together not only my skill sets, but my passion. So my passion is to empower and help others, always have been. When I had a law practice, I had business development meetings in my conference room. I had community organizations. I work with nonprofits. My focus and my niche was helping small emerging business owners. And so in real estate, it comes the same. It's just really helping people to do better with what we have, to leverage, to understand, and to make informed decisions. Because things isn't always to work out. And even in law, it was more important for you to understand your issue, the probable outcome. Let's look at the worst case scenario. Let's look at the best case scenario. Same thing in real estate.
Right.
And so focusing on accessory dwelling units allowed me to bring in the legal background, because when you're doing real estate, investing, having your property, there's all kind of legal principles, not so much the
Mhm.
practice of law, but there's a foundation. And then
Right.
working with investors and builders and contractors, if we have to go out and I'm part of a team and we need to communicate with an attorney, then I can talk the language and I can minimize. And so it's a benefit added, definitely. Then I've been a business owner, including the legal practice and other things. I've been a business owner probably for about 30 years. So understand leveraging what you have in a business sense. Kind of what we need to empower our community to do is that we need to like leverage in accessory dwelling units. I like to say that I'm here to help you leverage what you already own and control.
Now, right now, you
Okay.
are operating majority out of California.
I'm operating out of California, basically in Southern California. However, I have recently partnered with an engineering and inspection company that have services nationwide.
Okay. So,
So,
okay.
okay,
So for our listeners who this is the first time they have heard ADU, accessory dwelling unit, what exactly is that?
okay,
So I've heard, I hear people as they talk about real estate, and of course, I'm always traveling, right? So you hear people talking, it's like, it's the mom-in-law quarters, it's this, it's that, it's this.
yeah,
And I'm like, know that we're going to have people who are listening who have never heard about this. They're going to be investors who are listening to also want to know, is this a good, niche for them to get into? How does it make them money? All of those kinds of things are what our listeners are going to do. So I'm just going to ask that first question.
okay.
What is an ADU in its simplest terms for a person who is brand new in real estate? First time they've ever heard of it.
In the simplest term, an ADU is a self-sustainable living unit that is built on a property where there's already a main home,
Okay.
basically.
So is that so if I am trying to give someone a visual and we're going to have them go to your website, go to your YouTube channel, get your books, all of those kind of things. But remember, if I'm hearing for the folks who are here, if I have a house and I want to put another home on my property, then that will constitute as an ADU.
Yes, but we have to understand that when I said self-sustainable, it means that it has a full kitchen, full bathroom, a living area, like a condo or an apartment, but it's sitting on your property. And when
So
you
that's
said,
important because, I hear people talking about I got a shed out back.
yeah, and
No.
that, and that's what I want to get to, and that's kind of one of my little things. And as bring up that legal house is that words matter. Okay, so
Right.
words matter in the sense that in California we've had an evolution of legislation for accessory dwelling units. Okay, so the words of the law, the letter of the law addresses ADUs as self-sustainable, fully contained living units. To give people a visual, realtors, developer, other people have been saying granny flats, casitas,
Right, right,
tiny
right.
homes. It's like that is not an ADU necessarily. You have to know the definition, and then when you actually embark on it, you have to use the right words. That's where ADU specialists like myself and other people in that niche can help you. I just tell this is a piece of the story that's in my book, How Smart Realtors Make More Money with ADUs. I was in accounting agency and this gentleman came in and he was all agitated and everything. And he said, I need to know whether my casita is permitted. I need to know if it's permitted. When I bought the property, the realtor said it was permitted. The seller said it was permitted. Now I have a notice that it's not permitted. And so I bring it up because the first thing that the representative at the county agency told him when he got to the counter, well, sir, a casita is not a permittable unit. I can search and see whether that structure on your property qualifies as an accessory dwelling unit, but we don't permit casitas.
Got it.
Casitas are not permitted. And tiny homes are usually on wheels. They're on chassis. They're vehicles that's been converted. There's a whole tiny
Right.
home nation, right? With VW Volkswagens and horse trailers. That is not real estate. ADUs are real estate. So yes, to move on a little bit, it is an excellent opportunity to invest in. And when I got involved, a lot of the investors could not understand how they can get a good ROI on a one-off, like building one unit in the backyard. But that's where the evolution of the laws, especially in California, is really opening the door, and they're following like Texas and Oregon. So we're not the only one.
Right,
But
right.
just to like bring it up, the 4 recent laws that our governor Newsom signed earlier this month that affected accessory dwelling units, one of them allows us to sell the accessory dwelling unit like condos. which means that you no longer have to keep that secondary unit on your property for rental. You can actually sell it as a condo. So we have the letter of the law been signed. The spirit of the law across the nation is that we have a housing shortage. We need
Right.
to increase the inventory. And this is one of the most innovative ways of doing it. And it's basically all hands on deck. The laws have been evolving to reduce barriers so the average homeowner, the starting investor can participate in creating inventory. So that's the spirit of what the accessory dwelling units are supposed to do. Now, with the laws as they evolve, we get into implementation, application, varying city by city, county by county, and everything. And so there's this gap there that one is what I'm trying to fill is to bridge between the homeowner or investor wanting to build ADUs and the actual process of engaging with the architect contractor and stuff to get it done. There's some business concepts we have to get into because if you're going to truly leverage it, you have to treat it like a business, whether you're a homeowner or a startup investor or a seasoned investor, it is a business.
Right.
So we need to leverage it as a business. With that in mind, for a simple family, I've helped families put the property in the trust and to treat the trust as the landlord to make payments through that. So all the business records and receipts and everything is there. Now that we can sell them as condos, we're going to have to deal with attorneys and different people to draft your condo papers, you know, on how you're going to manage it. So the application of what we're going to see in the coming year is going to be, you know, we have a lot of questions that we're going to be out there for answers. So being connected to myself and my network would help you stay involved with that. The other thing, if we how we're making money, the other thing is that right now in California, you can put 3 units on your property if you can meet the setbacks. So I talked about the one. So right now, you can have your main home and you can put a SB9 unit, which is by definition standalone, but it needs its own utility meters and sometimes its own address.
Right.
But you can put a SB9, which is basically a second house. So we need to treat your home like a small development. And the first phase, we will build a second house. If you have a deep rectangular lot or half an acre, we put it back where it's economically feasible to start there, further away from your main house. Once we get that done, and we tell the city and the county what we want to do, but once we get that done, we can add an accessory dwelling units to each of those structures. That brings the total unit count on that parcel up to 4.
Right.
4 units or less is residential. So you still don't have to go into your commercial lending or whatever.
Right. Which
and
is why FHA was, when they made the move this, recently, was such a, like, I was like, oh my gosh, are people really paying attention? Because unlike where you guys are in California, you're steps ahead of a lot of locations and cities and, jurisdictions. And so there are lots of jurisdictions who are just sitting there and not knowing which way to go. Like, are they going to approve this, or who's going to approve it at what level, and all these things. And I'm like, hey, you've got the financing here, the out here, you're helping communities who need more affordable units, all of these kinds of things. And I'm going, I hope Dr. Barnes realizes she's going to be busier than ever, because within our own, tribe and network, there are lots of us who are sitting there going, okay, we don't have legislation or anything in our jurisdictions that are approved yet. And so here, I may be able to, I'm a commissioner in my city of Lee Summit with the Housing Authority. There's nothing there on the books that addresses the ADU. So if I can, get you on board and say, hey, well, this is what's already working.
Right.
Why not do this? Then I see that happening a lot of places. And that's why tomorrow's meeting with our Compass members and our investors in that particular group is going to be so important for those folks, because that's part of what I've asked them to do. It's go find out what your cities are doing and what they've already approved, and how they can get on the forefront and push things to kind of, let's move this along. Like,
Right.
let's give some best practices that's out there, because you already know this. I've been screaming this for the last 20 years that we don't have enough affordable housing units. And I think this is ideal for seniors. I think this is ideal for, our students that are coming, or our
Yeah.
college students who are coming home from college and can't
Yeah.
live in their own,
Or some that can't
cities,
leave. Yeah. Yeah.
and all of those kind of things. So it can definitely benefit so many people.
It,
And we can go deep. And that's why I'm like, guys, if you are listening here, have to pay attention. You have to follow her. You're gonna have to find out when her next class is, because this is a lot of information to absorb, and she's a wealth of knowledge. So she's already told you she's got the legal, she's got the know-how, and she's got the financing and all of those things that are
got the engineering.
the engineering that are already in place. And if this is an interest of yours, you don't have to go and recreate the wheel. We just need to figure out how you partner and connect uh, with, this professional who's already in this niche. And so you guys know, I try to make sure you guys have enough time to, reach out. Karen, can you please tell us where to find, how do they find you? Uh,
Well, the,
your book, is your book on Amazon?
my book is on Amazon. It is How Smart Realtors Make More Money with Accessory Dwelling Units. And that book is geared towards real estate professionals, but also can help investors and builders, because I go through some of the things, the basic definitions, the process, and then some best practices or things to look out for. Because up until the time now in California where we can sell ADUs as condos, realtors did not make a direct commission off of accessory dwelling units. They could list a property that maybe had a structure on it, or they're working with a buyer who says, I'm interested in building an accessory dwelling unit or having one. And that's where they could get into trouble if they don't really
Right.
understand their buyer's desire. And then when they close escrow, they're like the gentleman running in saying, hey, you told me I could do something, and now I got notice that I can't. And we
Got
don't
it.
want to be in that position.
Well, I'm going to
So,
do this. I'm going to make sure I get all of your links, put them in my YouTube piece and our groups. And then, guys, you can reach out to me also, because I already see that we're probably going to have to have our own workshop.
yes.
I'm like, already, is she ready to travel? Because we have international sites, we have sites in Florida. I already know I need you in Missouri and Kansas. Like, uh-oh. So guys, I'm already gonna tell you, get ready for 2024. Get your, get all your stuff ready, because if you haven't figured out, ADUs is where it's at. And so if she has workshops and trainings, I'll make sure that that's posted where we can go to her. And I'll try to, get our groups together and have her come to us at some of our events as well. Because this is where it's at, guys. Not everyone needs the mega mansions. We need affordable, safe housing and attainable housing, and we might as well do it on properties that we already have. So many of us have, land, vacant lots, current properties that this makes sense for. And so many of us are in position to actually go to our jurisdiction and our leaders and help formulate what this looks like and be on the forefront of this. So I want, right? I'm like, if you,
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. And again,
yeah,
you said the mega mansions. I mean, we can't overlook the fact that even in California, a lot of people are splitting up the homes. I
yeah,
mean, making ADUs within the footprint because we don't need it. It's an empty nest or it's just too much. And so we can divide that home into 2 or 3 units with separate entrances. And again, make it a little townhouse, make it a condo.
right,
And
right. I'm
those
sitting
things
here
are really
now as
permitted.
an
Yeah.
empty nester, and I'm going, we use 2 rooms in this whole house.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone, the dogs, the cats, the kids. Like, it's just two of us, and
Yeah.
we don't need this space. I'd rather give this space up to a larger family and move into something smaller.
Yes.
We travel all the time, so we don't
Yeah.
need this space. We have more than enough junk.
You're
You just
right.
keep adding more stuff. So, Dr. Burns, I definitely want to thank you for spending this time with us. Guys, I know y'all are going to be blowing up my inbox. I will just ask you guys to get her book. And I'm also going to buy a group of books, a set of books for the Compass members. And so after tomorrow, they'll have their reading materials because our Compass group is going to get ready to get busy. I don't know about anybody else, but I can already tell you in February we will be in Vegas, and hopefully you can join us in Vegas because that's not too far from you,
Yes.
and we can get our training and everything done, and we'll open that workshop up to other people as well. But this is the way to go, folks. Jump in while you can, while you have an expert, while you have a person who's here who can help you, who has material. And again, you can go and read all about everything else she's doing, but be ready because you won't be able to say that you didn't know. So again, thank you, Dr. Barnes. We'll
Thank you.
definitely
I
bring
would
her
like to
back.
say that you can look me up under ADU Advantage. That is the my consulting and ADU firm that I work up on for strictly ADUs. So ADU Advantage, YouTube, Facebook, reach out to me. Google my name, it should come up, and here to help.
All righty. Well, we appreciate you. And you guys, if you bombarded, I always tell you, make sure you got your credit card and your checkbooks because folks with this kind of information move you to the front of the line. So you got to pay to get it to the front of the line. This right here, YouTube is free, not the other stuff. So just be ready because y'all already know we bring it, and we bring the best professionals who are niched in their market. And, so whatever it is, get ready for training, get ready for working with these engineers and everything else, because I'm going to tell y'all now, I'm going to see y'all at the top or from the top.
uh,
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, Tamika, for having me.
You're welcome.